Good morning, Sonny.
Oh, yes, that's a good one, Hugh. I don't know.
Well, I want to begin by directing all my ire of John Podhoretz at you.
Okay.
John gave a warning, but I watched it anyway, Gen V, the first episode. And you have failed to warn me how completely I ought to have avoided the advice of John Podhoretz to watch the first episode of Gen V. Have you watched it yet?
Is this the spinoff of The Boys?
Yes, it occurs between season 4 and 5 of The Boys. I didn't like The Boys, but John said it was so perfectly on the nose about woke universities that I had to watch it. So he was wrong. My eyes are burned out, and I'm not going to watch episode 2.
Well, I have not watched Gen V yet. I need to catch up because I also like The Boys. I like The Boys a great deal. I know you don't. It's not. It's a little bit violent and out there. But I am a fan, so I need to check it out. But I have not yet.
Full warning to the audience. It is as raunchy and terrible and violent as anything I have seen on TV. And it does have its funny moments, but it ain't worth wading through that. So, Sonny, what have you got for us? Have you seen Napoleon yet?
I have seen Napoleon. Napoleon is the latest from Ridley Scott. Ridley Scott, of course, is the director of historical epics like Gladiator and Exodus, Gods and Kings, to name one good one and one bad one, among others. And he is out with Napoleon, which I like a great deal. Well, I don't know about a great deal, but I found it very amusing. I found it surprisingly funny. And it's great in the way that all Ridley Scott historical epics are great in the sense that he knows how to stage a big battle. He puts together big epic scope and sweep really well. So
I couldn't agree with you more. Go and see it. It is a fabulous movie, and I don't care that it doesn't exactly get Waterloo right because Waterloo lasted all day, and the movie's only 2 hours and 37 minutes long.
Well, and the other thing, I mean, look, this is not the other thing I would say about it is that it is not a history book level history. This is very much a movie that is not designed for amateur or professional historians of Napoleon. Basically, anyone who is into the history of the Napoleonic age has come out of it kind of muttering darkly about, how it gets everything wrong, whatever. And look, it probably does. I'm not a student of that age, so I don't particularly care about that. But I say this as when I was in college, I was a history major as part of my double major. And I took a lot of film classes. And so I'm pretty easily able to compartmentalize. Here's history. Here's movies. They are not the same thing. You should not expect them to conflate, the qualities of each other on each other. So I like
the University of Virginia did its job. Good for the Cavaliers. By the way, is your university in full meltdown like my college?
Not as far as I know. The UVA has never been a hotbed of protest. I'll put it that way. I mean, I was there when 9/11 happened, and there were not a ton of anti-war marches or anything like that.
Well, Hamas U, as Harvard is now being called, is in full, absolute, complete collapse and meltdown after Elise Stefanik did to it what the emperor did to the gladiator at the end of the Gladiator, shiv it. But tell me, what do you want us to see, Sonny? We gotta move a little fast today because I got stuff I got to do on this side.
Sure. Well, you mentioned Christmas movies. There is a new, potentially classic Christmas movie that it just hit VOD. It was in theaters the weeks I was gone. From director Alexander Payne, who made Sideways and Election. It's called The Holdovers. It's
fabulous
on VOD
movie
now. It's on VOD
fabulous
now.
Movie.
Look, if you're looking for kind of a neo-classical Christmas movie, this is the picture for you. So the basic premise here is Paul Giamatti plays a professor, Mr. Hunnam, who has to stay over at a New England prep school for the Christmas break to watch the kids who can't make it home across the country or around the world from the prep school for Christmas. One of those boys is a young man named Angus, who's played by Dominic Sessa. It's his first movie, by the way. This is his
Oh,
first
really?
performance. Yeah.
Wow.
And he's a kind of petulant, annoying kid. He's smart, but he's also a smart ass. And the two, the reminder of how Vietnam worked in terms of.
Although, that was my only objection. I know a lot of people who went to Vietnam who went out of college. And so they all came from West Point and Annapolis, which is interesting because they're playing this weekend in the game, and they are not infected as deeply with the rot of our elite universities.
Well, sure. I mean, one would hope the service academies would not be. Frankly.
They're teetering, but we'll come back to that. So, Sonny, I don't think it's going to be though. It's not like a movie I'm going to watch every year. It's very good, but geez.
Yeah, I mean, it's not a Elf or a Home Alone. This is not a movie you throw on with kids and watch every year. But I do think there is there's a segment of, as a friend of mine put it, if you're a Brooklyn hipster looking for a Christmas movie that's not not the standard. If you want something that's a little bit different and isn't Die Hard, right? This could be a Christmas classic for you.
Sonny Bunch, thank you. I want everyone to go to follow Sonny Bunch on X and read his reviews in the Washington Post and other places. Watch him at The Bulwark Goes to the Movies and Across the Movie Aisle. Those are his podcasts. Always good to talk to Sonny.